Welcome back to my coaching series. Happy New Year everyone, and in this episode we have another mobile player who also happens to be really decent at the game and one of the most patient players in the series so far. I also have a little quiz in the last round, so let me know down in the comments below if you would like to see more quizzes in these videos, because why not? It's fun. Okay, so really quickly, I wanted to apologize for delaying this video. After my little trip, I felt really sick, which you can probably still tell just by listening to my voice. But it's a new year and you guys really love the series, so I just had to get up and work on another episode. Before we start, I don't usually do this, but 92% of you guys are not subscribed. I spend a lot of time trying to push these videos out for you, and just leaving a like on the videos and subscribing helps me a ton. Thank you so much for the support. Dino starts the first round with AR, revolver, fists and grenade. He throws the grenade on ramp, which would of course hit our enemy if he went there, but instead our opponent uses Warhorn and Sight to push aggressively, which Dino doesn't expect based on this quick melee fist timing and also the crosshair, which was perfectly placed for the ramp grenade jump boost. Our opponent catches us off guard but whiffs almost every shot, which was lucky for Dino here. We go on high ground, ignoring a couple of shots again, and once our opponent runs out of ammo, he instantly goes down. Now, I talk about this a lot in my videos, and we mentioned it in the last episode too, which you should definitely check out. Sliding down from high ground to reload your weapon will always be a better option than just sitting on top and reloading. And if you're wondering why that is, take a look at what happened to Dino here. We reload on top, fully exposed, while our opponent is down behind cover, allowed to reposition unbothered. By the time we cancel the reload animation with quick melee, he's already up there shooting at us. We do land some nice shots, but unfortunately our opponent switched his weapon a lot faster. What's interesting to me is that our opponent had sight, yet he hadn't dashed a single time since that Warhorn play at the beginning of the round. Why he goes to the ramp every time to climb up is kinda weird to me, but alright, maybe he knows something that we don't. We switch to sight and medkit in the second round, while our opponent goes to the exact same spot. Dino didn't expect it, which you can tell by his crosshair placement, but lucky for him, his opponent didn't hear him going there, so both of them were kind of caught off guard. We land some nice shots, but stay on high ground to reload again, which is not so bad if our opponent is also reloading, but it can really lead to some tough situations. And even though Dino reloaded his weapon successfully, he still switched to revolver right click after his opponent dashed up. You might think of this as a bad play, but I see something really smart here. The revolver right click can really shred up close, and when better to use it than when the opponent dashes directly in your face. Unfortunately, both of them moved out, so the play didn't work out, but respect to Dino for trying to pull it off. We reload our revolver fully exposed while our enemy is shooting at us, which all of us can agree was not really a good decision, but he had a pretty good recovery by going behind cover, switching to AR and landing some nice shots. I had a feeling Dino didn't realize that he had already reloaded his AR, so he switched to revolver and stuck with it, but I want to show some of you guys, maybe those who don't notice, something important. When you reload your weapon, any weapon, you will see two reload animations on the screen. The first animation is your actual weapon reloading, while the other one, with that clock icon, is just the cooldown for how long it takes to finish the rest of the animation. You can actually cancel that second cooldown just by switching to any other weapon and switching back, or by using a quick melee, which makes it a lot faster than waiting for the entire cooldown to end. That's why you see people doing quick melees or switching between weapons every time they reload, because it makes the animation go quicker. Anyway, Dino here doesn't move his camera at all. He's still facing the ramp while going sideways and reloading his weapon. You really don't want to do that, especially when your opponent is chasing you. We reloaded our revolver previously, so switching to it here or using sight to dash away anywhere would be a better option. Dashing on top of the wall and sliding off the ledge will get you further and a lot faster than simply running in that direction. Dino was lucky twice that his opponent didn't engage and punish that mistake, so he had time to pop a medkit, reload successfully, and push his opponent while he was reloading. We switched to flashes in the third round, timing both around the same time. Personally, if I didn't know my opponent had flashes, I wouldn't even think about dodging them, so that first flash would definitely blind me. But throwing another one right after just to make sure might not be the best thing to do. Because let's be honest, if I'm expecting the first flash, I will try to dodge it, and the second one will probably be successful. But if I'm not expecting it at all, and my opponent throws 2 flashes, I will get blinded anyways from the first one alone. It was successful though, but we didn't take that chance to punish our opponent. Even though we saw him bump his head into the wall, we still decided to wait and engage late. We caught our enemy off guard anyway, moved out when we ran out of ammo, and reloaded safely, which was well played. We still sit on ramp and get caught off guard, which was expected because our enemy knew our position and it really wasn't hard to pull something we wouldn't expect. That's the mistake Dino made, and he got punished for it this time. We dash up, see the enemy under us, or maybe we don't if our fingers are covering the screen. We hear him dashing behind us, yet we almost react too late. We hear him moving to the right side again, but we still tunnel vision on that one wall where he was previously hiding, which obviously catches us off guard and we eventually lose the round because of it. So far, I feel like Dino is lacking awareness, which is something you build over time, but there were moments where he should have punished our opponent just by listening to audio, which, like I always say, is really important in this game. He's doing pretty decent aim and movement wise. Sure, there's still stuff to work on, but for a mobile player, this is not bad at all. He's currently losing, but is he going to win or lose the whole game? That depends on what he does next, so let's see. We flashed twice. It would work this time because our opponent should be expecting it, and if Dino didn't miss the quick melee button, he would land a lot of shots on the opponent who was fully blind. Dino knows his opponent hasn't wasted any ammo, so he goes down as soon as he is about to reload, which was really smart because our opponent instantly dashed up trying to catch Dino off guard. We shoot a couple of shots, then we ignore our opponent for some reason, and then we reload on 14 bullets, fully exposed on high ground, which luckily our opponent didn't punish. Dino does a pretty nice job of keeping track of where the opponent is moving, and once he sees him, he starts shooting. He moves down as soon as he runs out of bullets, which was smart once again, moves to a different position where our opponent wouldn't expect us, and then he sees him rotating ramp, where he lands a couple of more shots and moves out. Really nice gameplay here. You can tell there's a huge difference between this round and the first 3 rounds. Every mistake Dino made in the first 3 rounds, he fixed in this one, barely making any other mistakes. He waits a bit longer before throwing the flashes in the 5th round, fully blinding the opponent again. If he just hadn't missed that dash again, he would probably get a lot of damage considering our opponent was on high ground and fully exposed. We land a couple of shots and move back to reload. As soon as we hear him dashing towards us, we switch the revolver and then switch back to cancel the animation, like I talked about earlier. We land some pretty nice shots, find cover again to switch to a revolver, we force the enemy to waste his Uzi ammo, and then we push that by having more patience and ending the round with one shot. I kind of don't understand why the enemy kept shooting with his Uzi. You could say he was trying to pre-fire, which is totally fine, but when you're using a secondary because your primary isn't reloaded, you really don't want to run out of ammo there too, because you're basically cooked if you're forced to reload up close while being aggressive. Overall, good round for Dino here. Sixth round, we wait even longer for flashes, except this time our opponent expects it. We dash up and holy, that was some nice tracking there. We go down to reload, which is smart, and after that it's basically just them running around. As you can see, Dino is keeping pretty good track of his opponent here. We would land some nice shots if he didn't miss the dash. We keep dashing up, landing a couple of shots and then moving out. Also, as you can see, Dino is really patient here. He doesn't shoot as soon as he sees the opponent, he waits until he knows he will be able to hit the enemy, and then he shoots. Our opponent is panicking, running in circles, missing dashes, just wasting ammo on nothing, barely landing any hits. And when he's the most vulnerable, he gets punished. W patience from Dino here. Match point, and we're back on medkit, simply because we know our opponent is expecting flashes at this point. Good decision, honestly. We instantly dash up while our opponent takes some time, and then he keeps running around while staring at the wall and looking down, which looks kind of funny, but we all know he's just being paranoid of the flashes, which is already good enough to give Dino some positional advantage. He pulls the katana too, which Dino didn't react to, which was a nice one, hits a couple of shots and moves down just to be safe. Now, that second pick kind of messed us up because we immediately started shooting even though we knew he had katana. Most katana players just pull it out as soon as they peek because that's when they expect you to shoot at them, which is exactly what the opponent did here. We know our opponent is sitting on high ground, he used his katana, and Dino knows it's a perfect opportunity to go up and fight without having to bait out the katana or worry about it. But unfortunately, the sight cooldown worked against us. While Dino was way too focused on spamming the dash, our opponent moved to the ramp and caught us off guard pretty well here. He goes up and pulls the katana way too late, which gives Dino enough time to land a couple of shots. I'm going to freeze frame here. Now take a look at this specific situation. What do you think happens here? Does Dino absolutely get cooked because our enemy is already mid-air and looking towards us while we are on 11 HP mid-animation? Or does B, our opponent, do absolutely nothing about Dino going up and Dino somehow manages to get out alive? Well, if you said A, good job. Just like me, you were absolutely mistaken. Why was our opponent just so chill and running around the walls? No clue. But it worked out pretty well for Dino. So he just landed 60 damage and secured the round. Overall, I feel like Dino is lacking awareness and decision making in certain situations. He also misses a lot of dashes with sight. His aim and movement are pretty decent as well, but crosshair placement is definitely something I would also work on. Now, there's a lot of you mobile players out there. I know it's not easy to keep track of everything. I know it's not easy to do all of the stuff I mentioned in this video, but there's definitely stuff you should consider working on no matter what. Like positioning when necessary, switching weapons faster, or even being more patient overall. I'm honestly impressed with how patient Dino is in some tough situations. It definitely helped him win some fights. He didn't just panic like his opponent did, he took it slow and calm and managed to secure the rounds. Dino is, in my opinion, doing well for a mobile player. Just work on the things we talked about in the video and you should be fine. If you guys enjoyed this episode where we broke down new stuff and had a little quiz at the end, let me know by liking this video, subscribing, and of course commenting down below if you want to see more quizzes and videos like this one. Happy New Year once again. YouTube thinks you will like the video on the screen, so make sure to watch it, and I will see you guys in the next episode, hopefully sooner than this one.